This is a brand new smartwatch from Samsung that's going to cost you $60. $60. It almost sounds too good to be true. So I'm going to unbox this and show you the initial setup and configuration of the Galaxy Fit 3. Check it before you wreck it. What's up, geeks? I'm Kirk, and this is the Fit 3. Today, I'm gonna unbox this and then walk you through the process of setting this up with a phone, and then I'll show you some of the features on the watch itself. If you wanna see a full review of the Fit 3, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so you catch that video when it's released. But it's kind of hard to believe because you think about Apple watches and Samsung watches and Pixel watches, they're all hundreds of dollars. It's not very often we see a watch from a major company like Samsung for just $60. So what's the catch? What features are missing? And is it really a high quality watch? That's why I had to check out the Samsung Galaxy Fit 3. So let's get this thing over to the table and get this unboxed. The Galaxy Fit 3 in the box from Samsung. Pretty simple looking box here, pretty small sized box. And we'll take a closer look. You've got a picture of the watch on the front. On the left-hand side, it says Galaxy Fit 3. On the right side, it's blank. On the bottom, you've got your normal barcodes. And on the back, you have package contents, the Fit 3 watch, USB charging cable, and some instruction manuals. It says wall chargers sold separately, which means you're not going to get a power brick inside this box. Let's get our knife out to open this thing up. And a couple of cuts on the top. It does look like there's two pieces of tape on the top to cut open. Okay, now I should be able to pop the top of this box open to get access to the watch. Looks like we've got a little pull tab here on the carton container, and I will slide it open. There it is, the Fit 3 watch inside of a cardboard container with a cardboard filler piece. Let me pull that filler piece out, and it does feel like there's something in here, in the side here. Yeah, it looks like that's the charging cable. So let's take a closer look at this, and it looks like a standard USB-C charging cable with some sort of pogo plug. There you go, on one side with two pins. So this must be the charging dock for the Fit 3 watch. So here's the watch. Let me see what's underneath the watch. Looks like maybe some instruction manuals or some sort of guide in here. I'll pop that open, and a quick start guide. Let's open it up, see what's inside. Yeah, very normal stuff here. Picture of the watch, tells you where the button is, how to charge it, how to download the apps, how to remove the band and attach a new band, and some legal stuff talking about firmware and whatnot. So pretty typical stuff in a quick start guide. We'll toss that aside. Okay, let's move everything out of the way and take a closer look at the watch itself. And this thing looks good, feels solid, feels quality, looks good. It's got an all black design here with the black rubber band. Let me open the band up, and you'll notice it doesn't use kind of the push button style that the Apple Watch and the Google Watches use. It has a very traditional metal prong watch band style, and maybe you can get different bands for this. I'm sure you can. You may not like this style, but this is a classic watch band style. Now, see that button there? Let me push the button. That's how you take the bands off if you want to put a different one on there. Look at those metal prongs. Clearly some sort of proprietary thing, not a standard watch band by any means. You pop it back in and it sort of clicks back in. I should be able to do that on the other side as well. You can see again that button right there. I will push that button and oh, there we go. Pop the band out. Again, those metal prongs give me a little bit of confidence that this band is going to stay in there pretty well. So on the bottom, you've got those two little dots. Those are your pogo plugs for that charging cable. Let me grab the cable and see how that attaches. There you go. So it's got some sort of magnetic connection in there, and there's an indent on there. So it's only going to attach one way around the optical heart rate sensor. And that's what you see in the middle there as we focus on this is the heart rate sensor on the back of the watch. You're not going to get a ton of sensors here like you will with a $300 watch, but you'll get the basics. And we take you back to the front of the watch here, looking pretty good. Nice looking watch. And then on the side, you've got that button, and that hole is actually the barometer sensor. So there is actually a barometer sensor built into this watch. Nonetheless, I feel like we need to get this thing powered on to see how it looks and how it works. Okay, so I'm going to hold down the button on the side. That should power this up. Hopefully it's got enough juice so we can test it out and get it connected. We've got the Samsung logo right there on the screen, so it's got enough power to power up. That's good. Let me grab a phone to connect this to, and look what I have, the Galaxy S25 Ultra. If you haven't seen my unboxing for this yet, I'll link that at the top of this video and down in the description. So we've got Galaxy Fit 3 and a code. I'm guessing that's the code it's going to use to connect this to the software. As soon as I power on this Samsung phone. Look at this. This notification pops up, Galaxy Fit 3 with that number, 8480, saying, do you want to connect, with a picture of the watch, which is nice. It's one of the nice things about working in the ecosystem, kind of like if you have an iPhone and an Apple Watch. Of course, this watch will work with other Android phones. So it's asking me to confirm a pairing number on the phone. I will go ahead and hit continue so we can move to the next step with that. Okay, so now it's downloading some software. It looks like some sort of plugin for the Samsung Wear app that tells it how to talk to this specific watch. That was a quick download. I will agree to all the different terms and conditions here and jump to the next step here. Do you want to let this phone access your watch? I mean, it's going to ask you for all these different permissions. Obviously, you'll probably need to agree to most of these. And if you don't, do you want the calendar, the phone permission? Do you want contact permission? Do you want be able to find your watch? Oh my gosh, so many permissions. But this is one of the nice things about Android and Samsung phones is that they ask you for all these permissions before they actually give it to the watch and to the app. Do I want to auto back up my watch settings? Sure, yeah, I'll hit next on that just in case this watch gets disconnected. Which wrist and which side is the button on? That's kind of cool. So you could flip the watch and put the button on the other side if that's how you prefer it. So that's kind of nice. Also, do you want to use the 5-button press to get an emergency call through, or it can detect fall detection? That's a nice feature to have in there. So we'll go ahead and make sure the permissions are set for that and hit next. It can track your daily activity. Of course, that's what this is for. It's a fitness tracker for tracking what I'm doing throughout the day. It'll also track your sleep. That makes sense too. That's why you wear one of these things, especially with the battery life you get from this watch. It lets you wear it at night and not have to charge it while you're sleeping. All right, that's it. The watch says you're all set. The phone says it's finishing up, and within a few seconds, we're done. Enjoy your band. So there you go. It shows the Kirk's Fit 3 is connected, 78% battery. That's great. And now it's got a little tour here on the watch. So let's kind of go through this. It's kind of showing me how to use the watch. Swipe down from the top to open the quick panel. That's cool. So that's like the settings panel. Swipe up to go back to the watch. And then if I want to find my apps, how do I do that? Let's see. So swipe up from the bottom to find apps. There you go. There's the list of apps. Swipe down to go back to the watch face. Easy enough. All right, notifications. How do I see my text messages and notifications? For notifications, swipe right. There you go. And then tap it to open a notification, of course. And that worked. And then swipe right to go back, and then swipe left to go back to the watch face. I hope this becomes more intuitive once I start using it. About tiles. Okay, how do I find my tiles? For tiles, swipe left. So these are probably tiles you can configure. Press the home key to go to the watch face from any screen. See, I'll use that. That's how I'll get back to home, I feel like. There you go. A little quick tutorial. And now it says, enjoy your band. Look at the screen on this thing. It's got pretty vibrant colors, pretty good looking colors, decent looking screen. I'll go to the settings up on the top, and you have 6 settings there, another 6 on the next screen. What's this flashlight here? Oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a flashlight if you want to use your watch as a bit of a flashlight in an emergency situation. We've got water droplets here. Oh, that's like a water protection mode. So if you're going swimming, because this is waterproof, you can press and hold the home button for 2 seconds to turn off water lock. So it locks the watch when you're in the water, so it doesn't accidentally, do things or activate things or what have you. I gotta hold it. 2 seconds. There you go. Turn off the water lock, and it's off. Let me go back up to the settings menu. I've got the bed. I'm assuming that's sleep mode. Yep, puts it into sleep mode, dims the watch. Let's get it back out of sleep mode if we can by tapping that. It's not. No, I think I put it back in sleep mode again. There we go. It's out of sleep mode now. We've got a do not disturb mode. That makes sense. We've got an always on display mode. That'll use your battery faster, of course. In the settings menu, you've got even more settings. I'm not going to go into all of those right now. And what else do I got? A movie mode, a theater mode. That's always nice in case you're in a theater. Of course, you've got an airplane mode. Find my phone button. There you go. That was quick. So that can make your phone beep from your watch if you're wearing your watch, but you can't find your phone. I always like that feature. And then we've got, looks like a screen brightness setting. Yep. So you can just adjust the brightness of the screen up and down, hopefully up. There we go. I got worried for a second there. You can adjust this to your liking. Obviously, it's going to adjust. It's got a light sensor on the front, so it will be brighter outside than it is inside. From the bottom, you swipe up, you see all the different apps here: weather app, calendar app, timer app, stopwatch, world clock, calculator, remote camera, shutter button. These are, pretty basic apps, the health app, media controller app, what you'd expect on here. Nothing super fancy. This is a pretty basic smartwatch. These are your panels. Again, you can customize these inside the app on the phone. Obviously, with the weather app, you would add a location so you can see the weather. This is your calendar app, no events today. This is your media controller app, so you can control your songs on your phone. This is for checking your heart rate. You can track your cycling. And again, you can add tiles. There's a whole bunch of tiles you can add. Probably easier to do all of this inside the app, and I'll check that out in just a second. But it does let you do some of this inside the watch itself, which is nice. Let me hit the button to go back to the home screen. If I swipe to the right, it says no notifications, since I haven't gotten any notifications. If I hold my finger down on the watch face, it gives me some watch faces to choose from. That's kind of cool. I like this one. That's kind of like a classic old school watch face, but they're all nice, and they all have different kind of information. That one's got a picture. You can probably customize that with a picture of your kids or your dog or what have you. Let me go back over to that classic one and switch to that. It doesn't have a ton of information on it, but I like that classic watch face look, and I'll leave that on there for now. Very cool, guys. I'm impressed with the screen on this. If you put your hand over it, of course, it turns that screen off. That's a pretty standard smartwatch feature. I like the screen. I like the build quality. I like everything about this, especially for the price. Let me go into the app on the phone here and kind of jump through some of the settings on the app. Again, you can see the watch face is displayed in the app just like it is on the watch. If I go to watch faces, holy cow, look at all these. There's a whole bunch of watch faces to choose from. Let me choose one and install it and just see how this process works. I'll tell you what, that took longer than I expected. Probably took a good minute to transfer that watch face over, but there it is on the phone now. You've got some analog watch faces. You've got some more analog watch faces, angled info, animals. Those are weird. Those are quirky. Basic clock watch faces. There are a ton of different options in here, which I can respect. I like that a lot because even with my Fitbit watches, sometimes I always felt like there wasn't enough watch faces in the app by default. Let me add this one. This is called Big Time. I kind of like that because I like having the time pretty large on my watch face. Again, took about a minute for this to complete, but there it is. It's got my heart rate on there and then the time, so a pretty simple watch face. Some have more info than others. Some are more colorful than others. Some are goofier than others, but holy heck, man alive, there are just a ton of watch faces on here that you can go through, and if you can't find one in here that you like, well then I think the problem is you, not the app. Okay, back to the home screen, and let me click on manage here actually for the watch faces. This is how you change out the watch faces that are available in your watch. So you preload kind of a bunch of them on your watch. In the app screen, this lets you change which apps are available on the watch. In the tiles screen, this is what I was talking about. This is how you can customize those tiles. A whole lot easier to do it in here, I think, than on the watch. And then your quick panel, you can actually adjust what that quick panel gives you access to on the watch. Let's go to band settings. These are going to be kind of your basic settings for the watch. I'm not going to go into all of these, but notifications is going to be important. You'll want to make sure that this is set up properly. You can decide which apps send notifications to your watch. If you've used a smartwatch before, this is important. You don't want a whole bunch of notifications on that watch. You probably want your mail, maybe your text messages, maybe another messaging app that you use like Snapchat or something, but check into that. Make sure you set that up properly. Otherwise, you'll just be annoyed. Okay, guys, that's pretty much the app in a nutshell, and that kind of gives you an idea of what you can access in the app, what you can access in the watch, and there it is, the Galaxy Fit 3. I gotta say, my first impressions, before I've really had a chance to put this on and use it, this is a nice smartwatch, nice screen, nice compact, solid feel to it. I wanted to throw this on my wrist real quick so you can see what this watch looks like when I'm actually wearing it, and you can see again how nice that screen is, how vibrant those colors are, especially in this price point. You'll have a hard time finding a watch for this price that's going to give you a screen that nice. And take a look at the band here. It's pretty tight on my wrist. It's thin. It's a thinner band. I feel like it's not too thin. It would look good on guys, but I think it would work for women too. And you know, the watch itself is thick-ish, but not super thick, not super chunky. You can access the button fairly easy. I feel like it's lightweight. It feels good. I like this. I'm really, really impressed with this thing and the look of it on my wrist, the look of it on my arm. I feel like I could wear this, especially considering the battery life is 13 days on this thing. I find that unbelievable. And you do notice the flip of the wrist will turn the screen on. After a few seconds, it'll time back out. Okay, so a couple of things I have to mention about the Fit 3. First of all, it will not work on an iPhone. This is Android only. Now, it does work with non-Samsung phones. In fact, I set this up with my Google Pixel phone and it works great, just like the Samsung. Second of all, there is no microphone on the Fit 3, which means you can't voice to text on here. Now, you can reply to text messages with pre-canned messages that you can customize and set up in the app, but you can only use those pre-canned messages. And when you get a phone call on your phone, it'll show up on the watch so you know who's calling, but you can't actually answer that call here on the Fit 3. You've got to find your phone and answer the call on the phone. Now, that shouldn't be surprising. After all, this is a $60 smartwatch, which is great for tracking your fitness and great for kind of light smartphone, smartwatch features. And if it really gets 13 days of battery life like Samsung says it will, that kind of makes up for that, don't you think? Okay, I'm just scratching the surface though, so if you want to see my full review, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel so you catch that video when it's released. And I want to hear your comments. What questions do you have about the Fit 3? And maybe you're one of the lucky ones in another country that's had the Fit 3 for much longer than us here in the US. Comment below. Let me know what your experience has been. What's the battery life been like? I read every single comment. Go ahead, test me. I'll comment back on every single one. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Tech it before you wreck it. I'm Kirk.